Greetings, family, and welcome to Dr. Mumbi's Spiritual Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. I hope the light is okay, family. I really do pray, family, that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life very much in 5D and higher, in paradise, in your version of heaven on earth, because that is what is available to us, especially if you've been doing the necessary healing, if you've been connecting to your spiritual team and the Most High. You will have reached this new mental state. As I always say, 5D is a sophisticated mental reality, family. And so it's very hard to describe it to people. But, the spirit, the great mothers, the great ancestors have laid upon me this thing of giving you certain signs, arrows behind me, giving you certain signs and confirmations so that if you're there, you can know you're there. If you've broken through into the new reality, which is the ancient future, which is the ancient times, but now told in a new story. It's an ancient story that we're telling in a new way. These are some of the signs. I've done 2 other shows, family. They're going to be 5. So far, I think they're going to be 5 in total. Let me know what you think about the series. The first one, well, I don't know what order they'll be, but the 2 I've done now is embracing your dark side and realizing that there are no messiahs. Those are the first 2 signs that you realize you've broken through. And the third one, and probably one of the most significant ones, family, is to realize that God is a woman. And if you're triggered by that, if you feel some type of way about that, if you're going into your religious mindset, then you may not quite be there yet. I'm not here to teach. I'm not here to preach about who God is, but I'm saying one of the major keys that you have made it into 5D and beyond is that you recognize that the custodians of this world and the so-called creator or the God of this world is a woman, is feminine. Now, all of us have the masculine and the feminine in us, even the great mother. And there are different stories that talk about how the masculine entered into us and entered in this reality, or why the woman. Because our expression at first was a feminine expression, because this is a feminine world. But at some point, we had to separate ourselves between the masculine and the feminine. And there's this amazing show. Oh my God, what is it called? There's this movie I saw from Germany back in the day that talked about this. It was a really weird movie about a transvestite. It was so, I'll try and remember the title, family, and put it in the comments below. But the way they describe this, because I told you, they always put the codes in the messages. And so I'm not asking you to say, oh, now God is a woman, what about the man, whatever. All of us are balanced, but the custodians of this world are women. The ancient story of this world is women, is feminine energy. And we're going back to that. The goddess has awakened, if you want to put it like that. And so one of the signs that you are really where you're supposed to be, or you are now in 5D, is that you recognize that God or the creator of this world or the custodian of this world is a woman. And the main role for us, be it men or women, is first of all to balance the 2 in us. But the main role for men is to wake up, the physical men is to wake up, to balance the man and woman in themselves, to awaken the woman in themselves, and then to awaken the female in their lives. And the role for women is for you to just awaken. Because the false mother is ruling right now, the so-called Jezebel energy that wants to control, that is just super evil and super mean, and wants to dictate and wants to be the most beautiful of them all, and wants to just, you look at her badly and she kills your whole family kind of vibes, like just so extremely destroyer vibes. And once you realize that we are in a mother energy, then you will be able to connect to her story and the real story of this world. And that is one of the major steps to your healing, because this world is upside down and back to front. And what maintains the matrix is the lies. The big lies are being exposed, but now it's those small lies that we still hold on to. Because I've met extremely enlightened men and women, family, who could not, that's where we like parted ways. Like we agreed on everything else except God being a woman. And for me, the world that I have returned to and the world I have entered, God is a woman. And I'm just putting that, you'll understand if it's code for you. That is one of the biggest keys, family. Because once you understand that, then you'll understand how the world was started, how this realm we're in began, and who created it. And that connects you now to reality. Because the other one of the God in the sky and the Mzungu Jesus and all that disconnects you. And there's a lot I can say about this duality, male versus female. It's one of those things that they do to separate us within and to separate us outside, where they force us to be, hot, cold, when it's all water. Good and evil and all these things, family. And it actually took me, because when I grew up with a family that was deeply in the Catholic faith. And so, but I never understood why the women in our family really worshipped Mother Mary. It was like an obsession, like they prayed more to Mother Mary, like Hail Mary, full of grace. I never even learned it. I never felt any kind of connection. But everything was centered around that, and that seemed to work for them. But when I was reinitiated as a high priestess into the Agikoyo, and there's those who will say, oh, Agikoyo don't have high priestesses, then you really don't even know what time it is. Like, this is not the channel for you. Because the greatest seers have all been women. All. The greatest messiahs have all been women. The story has been not only changed in terms of like whitewashed, but it's been sexualized in a different kind of way. And this is not even about that debate, family. I'm just giving you a key of how you know that you're now in the right frequency or in the right reality. Because once you understand that God is a woman, you will understand that we are constantly in her womb. And right now she is birthing us into a new world. We are literally in the birth canal, especially the chosen ones who are the way showers, where we're going to be birthed into a reality. She is birthing herself anew. She's resurrecting herself. She's resurrecting all those who are connected to her by knowing the truth. Truth is the connector. Truth is the bridge. And so, when I was initiated back, because the Agikoyo creation story talks about how the man came, Adam or Agikoyo, and he was told to label everything. So it sounds a bit like the Adam and Eve. He was told to label everything, do this, do that, create a home. And then, the Most High came back and was like, it's not good for you to be alone. And and so Mumbi didn't come from no rib. She didn't come from no part of him. He was not put to sleep. He presented Mumbi to her. And when Gekoyo, aka Adam, saw Mumbi, he was like, you are the creator in flesh. That is one of the biggest codes of the Agikoyo that so many misinterpreted, because the men have wanted to say they're all that. So Mumbi never came. She was never beneath Adam or Agikoyo. And if you even go deeper in your meditation with that, you'll realize Mumbi was never created. She was already here, living her best life, doing her thing. So at least that's how they tell us the story. And then they say that they had 9 children and then they joke about the 10, the perfect 10, because 10 doesn't exist, 0 doesn't exist among the Agikoyo. And all of them were girls. So the Agikoyo are one of the few clans or few nations that name them their clans or their sub-tribes or their houses after women. And all those women, their names begin with a W. Those are stories for other days. That's a whole other story, because Mumbi is an M and they are W's. Hey, let me not get into that. But if we look at Kenya, the Agikoyo nation has been run by one woman, because there's always a queen mother. It's been run by one woman. And the reason she's been able to maintain her total stronghold as a Jezebel spirit over the Agikoyo nation is because men thought they were the ones in control. She didn't shout about it. If you ever met her, she was not loud, she was not flashy, but she was the one running things. And so many times people tried to come to resolve what was happening among the Agikoyo. I'm just giving the Agikoyo as an example, but if you look at the Bantu across Africa, look for the Queen Mother. So many have been looking for the kings, thinking it's the kings that are running things. No, it's the Queen Mother. And the reason the nations have fallen apart is either because there's a false Queen Mother on the throne, or the real Queen Mother is still asleep, or both. But there is always a Queen Mother, and the Queen Mother is the one that the Great Mother, the greater spirit, the mother of creation, channels through. She becomes the oracle. You honor the ancestor in the wind. And we feel like that's enough, family. I think we've said all that we need to say on that. But if the nations have fallen apart, it's because the Great Mother is either asleep, there's a false Great Mother on the throne, or both. And if you want to go deeper, the only reason the so-called British Empire got as big as it did is because they put on their throne a false Queen Mother, and she was crowned in the Gagikoyo nation, but y'all ain't ready. Tuko pamoja.